Hello everyone, my name is KnoxicKnoxys. I wanted to try out a new form of content, and I will be playing through Citizensleeper, and I will be doing hour-long episodes. So today is obviously episode 1, and we're going to be trying this game out. I'm really excited, I've had it for a while, so let's see how it goes. I've made my overlay as minimal as possible. So you have just kind of my PNG tuber, me, the game, and yeah. Let's see how it goes. I'm excited. It's a new form of content, and we get to enjoy this game together. Alright. Alright. New game. Let's see. Ooh. Operator. Extractor. Do we only get 2? Oh, wait, there we go. I think I'm gonna go with operator. Guys. Let's try operator. Yeah. The unknown items data. The first thing you become aware of on waking is the disconnect. Let me adjust this. The delay between thinking and feeling, between wanting to act and acting. Minor, almost imperceptible, but always present. It's at its worst when waking, when yourself has... Oh my god, this is so loud. Hang on. Sorry, guys. I've got in-ear monitors. There we go. It's at its worst when waking, when yourself has spent many, many dark hours recalling what it felt like to be real. To be a person. To be in a body that was indisputably yours. I want to think of that body. A leap into a cold lake on a hot day. The sting of blood welling from a fresh wound. The friction of a fingertip. All of a sudden, the memories are closer than you thought, blurring as you approach until you can't tell one from the other. The cold slips in behind you and around you, and the sensations fade out of reach. Perhaps you should be thankful for the dulled nature of this new body, given your current circumstances. The walls of the container feel immediately present, cold, hard at your back and face, cramping your limbs. You resist the desire to stretch, knowing that the claustrophobia comes next, and retreat a little from your central nervous system. It isn't painful, not like you used to know pain, at least. In emergency mode, pain is a message delivered with efficiency and ease. A reminder that harm is imminent. There is no insistent throb, no trembling nerves, just a warning delivered with the banal equality of a digital notification. Right now there are thousands of them. Do we want to remember the plan? or remember the others. I want to remember the others. You remember there were 10 of you. 10 that could no longer stand the indentured work, the routines, the slow decay. 10 whose belief in their promised future was slowly dismantled day by day until they realized they had sold away everything that could and would ever matter. 10 that would escape, or at least die trying. Some were lost in the shaft. Others never found the meeting point. Only a few made it to the containers. But the freighter, as far as you know, left. That feels like enough. Enough to know that you might no longer be on that grim and heartless rock. Even in the airless hold of a freighter, you might freeze solid long before you reached any destination. Wait for the cold. Try to rest. I'm gonna try to rest. But you are restless. It has been a long time since you left. Surely weeks, maybe months. You are dully aware of the damage to your legs, your right arm. You have been reserving energy as much as possible, but your body is still needed to shut down many of its systems to protect you. You have spent much of that time asleep, knowing that anything else would be impossible to endure. You feel the weight of that impossibility begin to gather. It is time to sleep again, to nudge this false body into inducing delta waves in your emulated mind, and once again recoil into a dream of when you were once a person. Rest. Time passes. The cold creeps further in. You feel something. Warmth. Not true warmth, but the indication of its presence. Your joints release from their rigor. Sound, too, everywhere, screeching and shimmering so loud that your body ducks. Your hearing to protect its sensors. Oh my god, I fucked that one up. Then light. White as the cold. Softer and softer until in a haze of dirty yellow a figure appears. You are out. Would you look at that? That was dramatic. That was a whole dramatic reading. Alright. So let's see where we are. This is Dragos. Alright, it has been a few hours since Dragos pulled you from the container. You sit huddled in a corner of his scrapyard, swaddled in the reflective folds of a mylar blanket. You are slowly coming back to consciousness. What? I am. So, Sleeper, are you all thawed yet? I'd say we're almost thawed. Never seen one of you come in like this. New frames must have better perseverance in Sub-Zero vac. Seen more than a few of you frozen solid in hull plates or inside outer locks in my time. They weren't so lucky. Dragos comes into focus shrouded in makeshift tech. His headset with its glinting eyes, the mark of a drone operator. On his shoulder, one of his symbiotically linked drones perches, its irising eye locking you with an unflinching stare. Last living sleeper that came through this yard was a while ago. They didn't last long. You struggle to read his expression beneath the tech, but he seems lost in memory for a moment. Or perhaps he's just figuring out what to do with you. Let's see. I plan to survive. What happened to them? Stay silent. He ignores your question. I won't ask what led you to do it, to sell yourself to a corporation. And I suppose you know you can't go back. Your old body, that's theirs now. And you're just software. A rogue emulation of illegally possessing corporate property. You nod along. You remember biometrically signing the forms, the cold floor on your feet as you padded to the sleeper cells, the promise of a life off-world. But as you do, you get the now familiar sensation that these aren't your memories. These are things you know, but not things you feel. You are no longer that person. You're an offshoot, a copy. What you won't know is what's ahead. At least that last one didn't. There's no easy way to put it. That body of yours is falling apart. It's the same for any sleeper who makes it out. S&ARP wants to protect their property, but if they can't keep a hold of you, well then no one can. You remember that too, or at least rumors of it from other sleepers. Planned obsolescence, a built-in dependence on the regularly administered supplements that were part of your routine. Stop taking them and your body begins to shut down, separate from your emulated mind. How long has it been? How long do you have? But for now, sleeper, you're one of the lucky ones. Dracos glances up and away, towards the glassy drone of the yard. The Eye is the best place you could be right now. The Eye? The station. You'll see soon enough. Dracos impatiently shifts his weight. Look, I've got things to be getting on with. He trails off. There's an old freight container I've been using as storage out in the stacks. We haven't been pulling in as much valuable scrap these days, so you are welcome to it. Something wells up inside of you. Emotion. Fatigue. You shakily get to your feet. Alright, you head on up there. You look like you need some rest. And with that, Draco stalks back into the Rex. His drone's already converging on a rusting hulk. Plasma flashes silhouetting his spindly figure as he returns to work. Tutorial introduction. Welcome to Erwin's Eye. Life on the Eye runs in cycles, during which you can talk to characters, explore areas of the station, and perform actions. At the end of each cycle, you need to head to your current home to rest. Resting will move time forward on the station. Head to the empty container location to rest and end the cycle now. Select locations by clicking on their icon. You wake curled up in the corner of the container and begin slowly assembling the world around you. After all this time, you still find this body, the one you wake in now, strange and disjointed. Its messages readable but somehow wrong. You sit up, pulling the mylar blanket close against the cold. Here you are, on this ruined station, millions of miles from anyone you know. Are you still in the system? Did any of the others make it out? It's impossible to know. After all this, what matters? Escape, getting answers, building a life. Maybe you did get lucky. Finding yourself here. Maybe here, on the edge of everything, there's a life for you to build. But before you can build, you'll need to learn to survive. Maybe if you can do that, you can make a life for yourself. Dracos has left a few comforts in the container. The mylar blanket, the bedroll you slept on, a canister of water, a makeshift electric stove, and some faded sachets of some desiccated powder. You thumb the power stud of the stove, and begin to boil the water. The contents of the sachets smell like damp wood, and you sprinkle them into the liquid. As the pungent smell washes over you, images from your restless sleep come back to you. A ring like the station, but skeletal and ghostly. A web of threads pulling at your skin. A constellation of bright, polygonal shapes, like angular suns burning into your mind. There's something unpleasantly visceral about these images, and it is long after you've finished drinking before they begin to fade. You tidy away the stove as best you can and try to gather enough energy to greet the day. Action dice and energy. Your condition represents the current state of your artificial body. It depletes by 1 segment each cycle, but can also be damaged by violence, injury, or lack of food. If your condition bar empties, you will suffer a breakdown. You'll have to figure out how to recover your condition. Oh hey, it's Dragos again. He is still wearing his headset, and in the harsh light of the corridor you realize it is implanted. A drone sits on his shoulder, its catch of sensor eyes rapidly irising. How are you feeling? Not good. We are not feeling bonita, guys. Not feeling bonita. Hang on, I'm checking something. The drone chirps. Dragos nods. You notice that beneath the operator's rig, his skin is marked by burns and blotches. I know the container isn't much, but it'll keep you safe, he pauses. So, I'm not going to chit-chat too long. You well enough to work? Sure thing. Alright then. He nods. At the yard, it's simple stuff. We hack these old holes down, sell them off to the shipyards or the bright market dealers for cryo. Occasionally, we'll pull out some tech, something with a bit more value, but most of what comes is scrap. It's hard to find good hands here, but I figure as a sleeper, you'll be used to the manual labor. And obviously, I'll slip you a few chits of commission based on what you turn up. Chits? These. He pulls out a handful of small metal bars, air-walled cryo, isolated from the market. It's what we use for trade out here. He stuffs them back in a pocket. Not the pocket. He shuffles his feet nervously. Look, I wouldn't usually do this. In my opinion, you'd be best suited moving on as quick as you can. And sleepers, well, he trails off. But things being the way they are for me at the yard, he pauses. I need the help. Happy to. Okay, he pauses, thinking of something else to add. Look, just come down to the yard when you're feeling fresher. There's plenty to do. Will do. Don't mind if I diddly do. He nods distractedly and turns and walks away. And turns and walks away, the drone hopping along ahead of him. See you later, he calls back. Looks like it's time to get to work. We gotta go twerk. Oh god. Let's see. What we're doing here? Oh no. Alright. We gotta be freeballing this. How do I drag the dice in? Oh. That's such a interesting concept. Oh no! What have I done? So I guess I just do... These are action dice. So I use those dice. Okay. Don't like that. So we're gonna leave. We're gonna go find a doctor. Go find a doctor. There's nothing there. There we go. We're doing the thing. Next comes the call from the enforcer at the door. You shuffle down the flickering hallway towards the open apartment door. You keep your head down and your shoulders high in the queue, trying not to bring attention to yourself. You were thankful for the tip-off that a doctor was operating out of this place, but now that you were here, you aren't so sure. The gang enforcer on the door, the flickering light strips, the decaying hab block, they have all made the long queue a test of your nerve. But your options are few, and without a supply of stabilizer, your body, will. You suppress a shiver and shuffle forward to the front of the queue. You try to find something to distract yourself. You lean against the door frame and look into the apartment. The entryway is dark, punctuated by the green indicators of stacks of sealed containers. You lean in and see amber light filtering through a far doorway, screened with plastic sheeting, beyond which blurred shapes move. The slap of the enforcer's palm against the doorway jerks you awake. "Wait your turn," he growls. After a few moments, a figure pushes through the doorway, and you catch a distant voice. "Send the next one in, Toshiro." The enforcer jerks his head and you slip inside, passing through the dark entryway and pushing through the plastic sheeting on the far door. The room beyond is bathed in warm light. A floor-to-ceiling transparent panel gives a full view of the bright market's sealed roof and the buzzing traffic above, and for a moment you are transfixed by the motion. Oh, that's cool. That's a nice design. "Come, sit," calls a sharp voice, and you see a silhouetted figure turned away, replacing the plastic sheeting over the frame of a simple folding bed. You make your way across the room. The figure turns, and as they do, you see an expression of confusion flash across their features. They open their mouth as if to speak. They blink and then quickly regain their composure. "Like, the fuck you doing here?" "Please sit." They gesture to the bed, then turn to an open case of tools on the table. You sit. Sabine turns, a compact diagnostic scanner of some kind in their hand. They hold it to their eye. "Remain still, please." Their tone is clipped and businesslike. You stare ahead, still dazed from their expression when you first entered. Fear, recognition, sadness unmistakably etched across their face. "How long have you been on the station?" they ask, the scanner still to their eye. I'm gonna say a few cycles. They nod. "It's good you came to me." They set the diagnostic scanner on the table. "I'm going to start by assuming you don't know anything." They take your arm and roll up your sleeve, inspecting your synthetic skin. "Your body is dying." They say it without ceremony, without drama, but not without empathy. S&ARP doesn't like to see its proprietary technology let loose. To prevent bodies like yours, frames as they call them, from being stolen, repurposed, or in your case, escaping, they built in a process of so-called planned obsolescence. Frames decay rapidly when not regularly injected with stabilizer, one which S&ARP remains the sole producer of. They look up. "Sound familiar?" "Yes." "Good. That may help." They swap to your other arm, running some thin metal device over your skin. You feel your forearm tremble. "I'm sorry," Sabine says, and you are unsure if they mean for the cold touch of the metal or everything else. Emulations like you, sleepers, as most people know you, aren't classified as people in any of the surrogate systems. You have no rights, no status. They focus hard on the inspection of your arm, and S&ARP has no reason to release stabilizer into the market. Sabine looks up as if to apologize again, but they stop themselves. I know little of this is of use to you." They turn away, disassembling the metal instrument and cleaning it. Silence fills the room as Sabine works. and then the silence gives way to tension. You stare at their back, willing them to say something. Anything. Sabine turns to face you. I may be able to help. They sigh, and you see the darkness under their eyes, hear the fatigue in their voice. They gesture to the door. You saw Toshiro outside? You nod. He works for my benefactor. Yatagan? They're influential in the low end. They give me the space to work, run the door, and take up the profits. At the same time, I have to fix up their enforcers, tend to their implants, sew up their wounds. They look away. But Yatagan has connections. Smugglers from the Starward Belt, mercenaries working for the corporations on Ember. If they can source a stabilizer, maybe you'll have a better chance. Sabine sets down their slate, their notes complete. This is dangerous, and it'll be expensive, but I think we can do it. Sabine walks away to the window, their face dappled by the shadows of passing drones. Let's just see if this works first. I'll let you know when I have a lead. You nod and leave, Sabine still staring out, unmoving. When you reach the lower level of the market, you look back up through the panels of the roof to see if you can see their face, but the room looks dark against the lights of the market. You duck your head and walk off into the crowd. Well, we don't need to do that. Get out of my way. We got this delicious food, man. I know you sleepers. Emphis says while he cooks, his voice deep but clear. A hard life, a lot of stories. He glances up from beneath his cap with piercing eyes. I know. Tell him a story. You begin to tell him about your journey to the Eye, and he nods as he cooks, his eyes never leaving his work. You tell him of the confusion, the pain, but also the sense of possibility in its sudden arrival. You tell him of the cold and dark of the container and the endless cycles spent within it. Now it seems you tell him like some dream that you once had but can never forget. You tell him that the Eye excites you and scares you, and you are unsure where to walk, where to look, what to do. Eventually you tail off, running out of words. I feel like it's supposed to be trail off. He places a plastic tray of steaming fungus in your hand. Next time we can talk some more, he smiles. But next time, you pay. He slams a heavy hand against a button on the burner side and it shuts off. The roar of the flame and its impressive heat fades. Next time then, sleeper. He waves you away and begins to oil the walk. Before you turn back to the alley, you notice the geometric patterns of circular scars across his forearms, each surrounded with a constellation of glinting pin marks. You walk away, and as you take a bite of the rich, spicy, delicately sweet fungus, your taste sensors light up like a fusion reactor. You'll be back. We got some food. What the food doing? We got some food, guys. We got something going on over here. Okay, so leave that. I don't feel like we can get any work done. I feel like we did enough work today. Nope. We're done working today. We worked hard. We gonna end the cycle. We gonna end the cycle. Ooh, sheesh. This time you don't wake up. Instead, the ghost of the station, that shifting skeletal ring surrounds you. Not the skeletal ring. Not the skeletal ring. I don't like that. For a moment, you are gone, absent from your own body, stretched out across a colorless void. Then the connections begin to establish themselves, threads tugging on the edge of your mind. One moment, guys. You get ASMR of me typing. These threads become vectors of exchange, and then extensions as you feel your thoughts slipping away down them, dissolving into the millions of distributed nodes they connected to. You see the station. No, you feel the station like a web of texture in a smooth black liquid. What the liquid doing? I want to touch it. I like touching stuff. You find a point in the station and you connect to it, pulse through it, follow loops and paths under and around it. You touch more points than you have fingers, and then you try in a moment of impulsiveness to connect them. Then you explode. No, that doesn't happen. That's a lie. The flow passes through you so rapidly that you feel yourself being carried with it, splitting and separating, eddying and gathering. As you do, things occur to you, things that you can't possibly know. You reach out, try to grasp them, try to touch them too. You notice a tugging feeling, pulling at you insistently, as if it were a small child. Somehow it is pulling in two directions at once. You look down. All of a sudden, everything shuts off. You come back trembling into this unfamiliar body, both yours and not yours all at once. You find yourself standing in the container, eyes now open to the dark steel walls. You feel a change within you, a shift. You close your eyes for a second, and you feel it waiting there, the station splayed out across your mind. A storm of connective nodes, waiting to be explored. And then it is gone. Ooh-wee! Lord have mercy. That is a morning, I tell you what. Well, we're gonna leave our pod. Ain't nobody got time for that. Oh. She got something going on here. We don't got upgrade points. Currently. She a robot. We have 3. We got 3 freaking quasts. We owe him money. I don't like that. Where my dice at? Hold up. Bro. It is quite a day today. Today is not the day for that, apparently. Do I have food? I ordered fungus. Okay, we're not hungry anymore. So we did that. I don't see anything there. Fuck it, we ball. We did it. I keep discovering new drive, but I need to like figure out where everything is. 'Cause right now, I'm kind of like just guessing. You know what I mean? What the rotunda doing? I want to steal the dock plans. We're not gonna do that. Let's not steal the dock plans. This is risky. We got a neutral outcome. We like a neutral outcome. We have like no whew. We didn't get any work done today. What happens if we do this? Yeah, well. We weren't super poor, at least. Lord have mercy. Again, the skeletal ring of the station fills your mind. It sparkles with glittering lights, like stars reflected in a winter lake. It is clearer, crisper than before. The threads still pull, but you remain in place, flickering in the flow. Between the threads, you see bright shapes, catches of shimmering light beneath transparent crystal forms. You follow the path of a thread across the ring, through these forms, then leap off into the void. You begin to understand these are nodes and connections, a map of information of communication. There are so many layers, so many loops, that it seems almost impossible to parse, but you begin to try. Oh man. There are more threads than you can count. You choose one that passes nearby and you approach it. As you inspect it, you understand why you instinctively chose the word thread when you first saw them. They are not single lines, but rough, fuzzy things woven from data strings of all kinds. The threads and nodes, passages and puzzle boxes. One leads to another. There's so much here, so many answers, so many questions. All you need to do is follow the paths and open the boxes. You look out across this ghost landscape of exchange and see an opportunity. But then, that insistent tugging again, pulling at you. You look down again and see two lines, two threads pulling in different directions as if they were tied around you. Second. The second thread leads in, pulling deep into the station. Your gaze follows it, and this time you see something, a sphere shimmering above a strange angular body. A pulse shoots out from it, passing over you like a torch beam, testing you, tasting you. Ugh. Brother, ugh. The first thread leads out, away from the station, into the inky black. Someone out there is tracking you, hunting you. Bro, leave me alone. Following the thread to you. They are in a ship, and the ship is approaching ever closer with each cycle. Oh no. You open your eyes. Time is short. You know what? And this is where we're actually gonna end for today. Because Miss Girl here has a headache. Does it save? Is there like a save? Okay, it's saved. So I'm gonna quit to menu. And we're gonna continue where we left off next time. For part 2, Electric Boogaloo. I'm interested. This is a very interesting game so far. Definitely one of the more interesting RPGs I've played. I want to play more. This is cool. We're gonna play more. Bye, guys.